What if the only thing standing between you and your wildest dreams isn't luck or talent, but a single invisible switch inside your mind? Today, we unlock the 8 powerful truths to mastering your reality. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to start transforming your life right now. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. It is so good to have you here with me today. I am John. And today, I am not here just to entertain you. I am not here to just tell a simple story to pass the time. I am here to wake you up. I want to have a serious, honest conversation with you, just you and me. There is one deep truth about your life that nobody has ever told you clearly enough. It is a secret that hides in plain sight. That truth is that your mind is the steering wheel of your entire existence. Every dream you have ever had, every fear you have carried in your heart, every limit you have believed in, it all began in one place. It began right here, inside your mind. In our time together today, I am going to give you several life-changing truths. These truths will make you look at your own mind in a completely different way. I am not going to give you shallow tips that you have already heard 1,000 times before. I am not going to give you motivational fluff that makes you feel good for an hour and then fades away like mist. I want to give you real, raw, unshakable truths. These are tools you can apply immediately, right now, to change how you think, how you act, and how you live your life. By the time we finish this journey today, you will know exactly how your mind creates the reality you live in right now. You will understand how to train your mind to work for you instead of working against you. You will learn how to use your thoughts to shape your future instead of letting your thoughts destroy it. If you listen to this with focus, and if you open your heart to these words, I promise you will not be the same person by the end. And yes, as we go through this together, your English will get stronger while your life changes. So, let's begin. The first great truth is this: your thoughts create your reality. Look at your life right now. Look at your job. Look at your relationships with your family and friends. Look at your bank balance. Look at your level of happiness. None of this is an accident. It is not just luck. It is the result of what you have been thinking about, day after day, for years. Let's make this real. I want you to imagine your mind is like the soil of a garden. It is dark, rich soil. Whatever seeds you plant in that soil, whether they are good seeds or bad seeds, they will grow. If you plant seeds of fear, thoughts like, I am not good enough, or I will never succeed, or life is unfair, then weeds will grow. These weeds are ugly and strong. They will choke out your confidence. They will kill your hope. They will stop your action. But if you plant seeds of belief, thoughts like, I am capable, or I will find a way, or my effort matters, then something beautiful happens. Strong trees of opportunity will grow. They will create shade and fruit and strength in your life. Here is the powerful truth you must understand. Your mind cannot grow roses if you keep planting thorns. It is impossible. Let me tell you a story about a man named Jim Carrey. You might know him as a famous funny actor. But before he was famous, before Hollywood even knew his name, his life was very different. He was broke. He had no money. He was living in a small, uncomfortable van. He was just struggling to survive every single day. But Jim Carrey knew a secret. Every day, he fed his mind with a different reality. He would drive his old van up to the top of the Hollywood Hills. He would sit there, looking down at the city lights, and he would use his imagination. He would imagine himself acting in big movies. He could hear the people laughing at his jokes. He could see the cameras flashing at him. He felt it was real. And one day, he did something very specific. He took a piece of paper and wrote himself a check. He wrote it for $10 million. On the line for what it was for, he wrote, "For acting services rendered." He dated the check 10 years into the future. He kept that check in his wallet. He looked at it every single day. When things were hard, he looked at it. When he was tired, he looked at it. 10 years later, almost to the exact date, Jim Carrey signed a contract for the movie Dumb and Dumber. Do you know how much he got paid? He got paid $10 million. Was it magic? No, my friends, it was not magic. It was the law of his mind. The images and thoughts he carried inside became the reality he created outside. Right now, whether you know it or not, you are writing the script for your own life through your thoughts. If your mind is filled with negativity, self-doubt, and fear, your future will be full of proof that those thoughts were correct. But if you fill your mind with faith, with action, and with vision, life will start to show you proof that you were right to believe. The question is, what seeds are you planting? Because your mind doesn't care. It will grow whatever you put in it. You choose the seeds. You choose the harvest. Now, let's move to the second truth. Self-belief is the engine of success. Let's go straight to the truth that changes lives. Nothing moves until your self-belief turns the key. Your talent can be asleep. Your resources can be limited. Your path can be confusing. But when you truly believe you can do something, your brain, your body, and your behavior line up like a team. They start pushing in the same direction. I want you to think of self-belief as the engine of a car. Your skills are the wheels. Your habits are the fuel. Your goals are the map. But think about it. Without an engine, the best wheels, the best fuel, and the most detailed map do nothing. The car sits still. But with a strong engine, even an old, noisy car can climb a mountain. This isn't fake confidence. This is not shouting, "I'm the best," in the mirror. Real self-belief is a quiet decision. It is a voice inside you that says, "I will figure it out. I can learn what I don't know. I will keep going until this bends my way." What self-belief really is permission. It is the permission you give yourself to act before you feel ready. It is the permission to keep acting after it gets hard. It's not saying, "I am perfect." It is saying, "I am capable of progress." It is not saying, "I never fail." It is saying, "I learn faster than I fall." It is not saying, "I know everything." It is saying, "I can learn anything I need." When you hold this mindset, your brain opens up a learning mode. You start to notice solutions. You ask better questions. You remember more. You try again with adjustments. That is how results appear. There is a concept called the Thermostat Principle. Every person carries an inner thermostat for success. It is an invisible limit of what seems normal for you. It controls how healthy you feel, how much money you think you can make, or how confident you feel in a room. If your belief thermostat is set low, you will sabotage yourself when life gets better. But if you raise it, you stop quitting early. You stay in the room. You finish the exercises. You send the message. You take the seat at the table. Raising the thermostat is not magic. It is training. Let me tell you about the belief, action, evidence loop. Most people wait for evidence before they believe. Champions do the opposite. They believe a little, and then they act a little. They collect evidence from that small action. Then, they believe more because the evidence is real. They repeat this loop until their belief is unshakable. This loop is how shy people become speakers. It is how beginners become professionals. It is how average becomes excellent. For years, experts said the human body could not run a mile in under 4 minutes. Doctors warned that the heart would explode. Coaches believed it was impossible. But in 1954, one runner named Roger Bannister proved that the limit was just a belief, not biology. He ran with all his heart. He broke the 4-minute mark. And do you know what happened next? Within months, other runners also broke the record. The track didn't change. The human legs didn't change. The belief changed. When the brain believes something is reachable, it allows the body to spend more effort, endure more discomfort, and access more speed. Your life works the same way. When you move your ceiling, your performance rises to meet it. So, how do you build this unshakable self-belief? Let me give you a few steps. Step 1 is to write your identity sentence. Write down something like, I am a consistent creator who shows up every day. Or, I am a patient learner who improves 1% daily. Read it out loud every morning. This isn't magic words, it is direction. Your brain begins to act like the identity you repeat. Step 2 is to make a proof stack journal. Take just 2 minutes a day. Each night, write down 3 small proofs that you are becoming this person. I recorded for 12 minutes. I asked one scary question. I learned a new concept. After a week, you will have 21 proofs. After a month, nearly 90. Your belief rises because the evidence is yours. Step 3 is the 1-meter win rule. Pick a goal and shrink today's task until it is so small you cannot refuse it. Don't say, run 5 kilometers. Say, walk 10 minutes. Don't say, write a book. Say, write 100 words. Don't say, learn English in a week. Say, speak 5 minutes out loud. Finish the 1-meter win. Then, if you feel strong, take 1 more meter. If not, you still won for today. Step 4 is courage reps. Take tiny risks on purpose. Every day, do one safe, uncomfortable action. Start a conversation. Post 1 paragraph online. Ask for feedback. Make a phone call. These repetitions teach your brain a powerful lesson. I don't break when I feel fear. Confidence grows because you train it. Step 5 is to replace the sentence. Catch the old line in your head that says, I can't do this. Replace it with, I don't know how yet, but I can learn. Or, I haven't done it yet, but I'm starting now. Language is a remote control for your brain. Change the sentence, and you change the signal. Step 6 is evidence-first goals. Set goals you control. Evidence goals are behaviors. T'amuser, like practice speaking English 20 minutes daily for 30 days. Outcome goals are things like get fluent in 30 days. You don't fully control the outcome. But when you hit evidence goals, your brain learns you are reliable. Reliability is the backbone of self-belief. Step 7 is to build a confidence bank. Every completed microtask is a deposit. Missed tasks are not failure, they are just data. Review your bank on Sundays. Ask yourself which deposits gave the biggest return. Do more of those next week. Step 8 is an environment upgrade. Belief leaks through people, screens, and rooms. Follow 3 accounts that teach you, not distract you. Keep your workspace clean and ready. Spend more time with doers than with doubters. You are strong, but your environment can make you stronger. Step 9 is the 2-track plan. Track A is what you can do today. Simple, doable. Track B is what you will do next when today gets easy. This stops you from jumping from zero to extreme. Belief grows because the difficulty rises at a pace you can win. Step 10 is post-action reflection. After any task, ask 3 questions. What worked? What didn't? What will I change tomorrow? Belief loves clarity. Reflection turns effort into improvement. If you are having a bad day or feeling anxiety, use the 90-second reset. Ground your body. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Do this 5 times. Then, shrink the goal. Pick the smallest next action. Just open the document. Just put on your shoes. You don't need a perfect day. You need one honest action. Action rebuilds belief. How do you know if your belief is real? You keep promises to yourself even when no one is watching. You act before you feel fully ready. You recover from mistakes faster than before. Your goals are written as behaviors you can control. You feel a quiet, steady certainty. I can learn this. If these describe you, your engine is running. Build this kind of self-belief and your life changes shape. Opportunities notice you. People trust you. And most importantly, you trust you. That trust is power. With it, you can walk into any room, any project, any dream, and move it forward. When your engine is strong, the mountain is still high, but the climb becomes possible. And once you reach the first ledge, you don't see an impossible wall anymore. You see the next step. I want to pause here for a moment and ask you something important. We just talked about acting before you feel ready. Think about your own life right now. Is there a decision, or a project, or a conversation you have been avoiding because you are waiting to feel perfectly ready? What would happen if you just took one tiny, imperfect step toward it today? I want you to really think about that, and tell me in the comments. What is one thing you are going to do today, even if you are scared? Now, truth number 3. Your focus shapes your future. Your life is not decided by luck. It is not decided by the number of hours in your day. It is decided by where you put your focus. Every human being has the same 24 hours, but not the same results. Why? Because while one person spreads their attention on 10 different things, another person locks their attention on one big thing until it becomes real. Focus is the difference between speed and progress. You can run very fast in circles and end up in the exact same place. But when you focus, every step takes you forward. Imagine your mind as a giant stage in complete darkness. You have a single spotlight. That spotlight is your focus. Whatever you shine it on becomes bigger, brighter, and more powerful in your life. If you shine it on problems, your problems will grow. If you shine it on possibilities, your opportunities will grow. Most people don't lose because they lack talent. They lose because they lack focus. Distraction is not just losing a few minutes, it is losing momentum. Every time you break focus, you restart the engine. And starting again always takes more energy than continuing. A distracted mind works like a car in heavy traffic. It starts, stops, starts, stops. It is exhausting. A focused mind works like a train on a clear track. It builds speed until nothing can stop it. The more you train your focus, the more your results compound. Think of your energy like a full glass of water. If you pour a little in 10 cups, none of them will be full. You will have a lot of almost finished tasks, half-learned skills, and partly started goals. But if you pour all that water into one cup, it overflows. That is how focus works. You go deep instead of wide. There was a man named Howard Schultz. He was working for a small coffee company called Starbucks. He got an idea to turn it into a completely new kind of coffee experience. Everyone told him, "It is too risky. Coffee is just coffee. Nobody will pay more for it." But Schultz refused to scatter his focus on safer projects. He poured everything, his time, his energy, his savings, into this one vision. He traveled to Italy to study espresso bars. He smelled the coffee. He watched the people. He redesigned store layouts. He trained the baristas like they were theater performers. Years later, Starbucks became one of the most recognized brands in the world. This happened not because Schultz had hundreds of ideas, but because he stayed obsessed with one idea until the world noticed. A magnifying glass in the sun does nothing unless you hold it still. When you do hold it still, the light becomes heat, and the heat becomes fire. Your mind is that magnifying glass. Your goals are the paper. Hold it steady, and you will burn through any obstacle. Keep moving it, and nothing will ignite. Most people quit not because their goal is impossible, but because something new caught their attention. They switch paths too often. They chase the excitement of starting instead of the satisfaction of finishing. Every time you start over, you lose the power of momentum. You go back to zero. The people who achieve great things are not always the smartest. They are the ones who stay in the game long enough for their efforts to compound. So, how do you build ruthless focus? Let's go step by step. 1. Choose your one thing. Write down the one goal that will create the biggest positive change in your life if you achieve it. Circle it. Everything else is secondary. 2. Create non-negotiable time. Block 1 to 2 hours daily for this goal. Treat it like an unmissable appointment with your future self. 3. Remove triggers of distraction. Keep your phone in another room. Close unnecessary tabs on your computer. Tell people you are unavailable during your focus time. 4. Set small milestones. Focus is easier when you can see progress. Break your big goal into small wins that you can finish and celebrate. 5. Practice refocusing. Every time your mind wanders, pull it back immediately. This is a muscle. It strengthens with repetition. 6. Measure daily, not occasionally. Write down what you focused on each day. If you see too many days where your attention went elsewhere, adjust quickly. Your energy is not infinite. Every decision, every distraction costs mental fuel. The more scattered you are, the faster you burn out. The more focused you are, the more energy you have for what matters. When you focus, you give your best hours to the things that deserve your best self. You learn faster. You work with more intensity. You see opportunities others miss. You feel the satisfaction of finishing, not just starting. Focus is the bridge between dreaming about it and living it. Truth number 4 is that your mind can overcome any limitation. Most people believe limits are real because they feel real. You try something, you hit a wall, you stop, and you say, "That is my limit." But here is the truth. Most limits are not walls, they are fences. And fences can be climbed, moved, or broken. You weren't born thinking small. As a child, you believed you could do anything. You thought you could run faster, jump higher, become anything you imagined. But somewhere along the way, other people's fears became your beliefs. A teacher might have told you, "You aren't good at that." A friend might have laughed when you failed. A parent might have said, "Be realistic." These moments planted seeds of doubt in your mind. Over time, they grew into invisible chains that keep you from testing your full power. When you accept a limit without challenging it, it becomes a truth in your mind. And once your mind accepts it as truth, your body and behavior will act like it is unbreakable. If you believe you can't run far, you will stop trying after a short distance. If you believe you are bad at learning, you will quit when you struggle. Your mind becomes the gatekeeper of your life. And sometimes that gate is locked only because you never try to open it. The strongest people are not the ones born without limits. They are the ones who refuse to stop when they meet them. They ask one question that weak minds never ask. What if this limit isn't real? That question is the crowbar that starts opening the gate. Let me tell you the story of Wilma Rudolph. She was born prematurely and was a sickly child. She contracted polio. Doctors told her she would never walk again without heavy metal braces on her legs. Can you imagine hearing that as a little girl? But Wilma decided that never was just a word. She learned to walk. Then she learned to run. Then she learned to sprint. In 1960, she became the first American woman to win 3 Olympic gold medals in track and field. The same body that doctors said would never run became the fastest woman in the world. Why? Because her mind refused to obey the limit. When you first push against a limit, it feels impossible. That is because your mind has no proof yet that you can go beyond it. The first push is always the hardest. Your brain screams, "Stop, this is too much." But if you push one more time, even just a little further, you give your mind new proof. You say, "We can go past this point." That proof becomes your new normal. And suddenly, the old limit feels small. How do you train your mind to break limits? Step 1. Pick one limit to challenge. Don't fight 10 battles at once. Choose one thing you've been avoiding because you think you can't do it, and decide to test it. Step 2. Start smaller than you think. If your limit is running 1 kilometer, start with 1.1 kilometers. If your limit is speaking English for 5 minutes, try 6 minutes. The goal is to break the ceiling gently but consistently. Step 3. Track every win. Write down every time you go beyond what you thought was possible. This creates a growing library of proof that you can do more. Step 4. Expect resistance. When your body or mind says stop, don't panic. That is the signal that you are meeting the edge of your old limit. That is exactly where you need to push. Step 5. Repeat until the limit moves. Limits don't vanish in one day. They slide back little by little. Keep pushing, and one day you will look back and laugh at how small that impossible once felt. Your mind is like a rubber band. If you never stretch it, it stays small. If you stretch it a little more each day, it can hold far more than you imagined. Once stretched, it never returns to its original size. That is the beauty of breaking limits. You can't go back to the smaller version of yourself. Breaking one limit in your life doesn't just give you at one victory. It changes how you see all limits. When you prove to yourself that you can go beyond in one area, your brain starts asking, "Where else can I do this?" That is when you become unstoppable. Not because life got easier, but because your mind got stronger. Speaking of becoming stronger and breaking limits, I know many of you are here because you want to push past your current level of English, or maybe build a new chapter in your life. If you want to make sure you don't miss the next part of this journey, and the other stories we have coming to help you grow, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are building a library of strength here, and I would love for you to be part of it every week. Now, let's look at truth number 5. Protect your mind from negativity. Your mind is your control room. Every thought you think, every decision you make, every emotion you feel, it all begins here. If your control room is clean, organized, and full of accurate, empowering information, you can direct your life with confidence. But if it is filled with noise, fear, and lies, you will crash into the same walls again and again. That is why protecting your mind is not a luxury. It is survival. Think about drinking water. If the water is pure, your body works well. If it is poisoned, even a small amount, it can slowly destroy you. Negativity works the same way. A single drop of doubt repeated daily becomes a habit of fear. A small criticism replayed in your head becomes a wall that stops you from trying. The danger is that you don't always feel the damage immediately. But over time, negativity rewires your mind to expect the worst, to shrink instead of grow, to survive instead of live. Where does this negativity come from? It has many disguises. It might be a friend who always tells you, "It is too hard," when you share an idea. It might be a relative who constantly brings up your past mistakes. It is the news cycle feeding fear 24 hours a day. It is social media posts designed to make you compare yourself and feel small. And sometimes the worst source is your own inner voice, shaped by years of criticism and failure, whispering, "You can't," when you haven't even tried. Your brain is wired to pay attention to threats. It is a survival mechanism. Thousands of years ago, noticing danger meant staying alive. But in today's world, most of the danger you are surrounded by isn't life-threatening. It is emotional and mental. It is phalange injection or disapproval. The brain doesn't know the difference. It reacts to a harsh comment the way it would to a predator. That is why toxic environments feel exhausting. Your brain thinks you are in constant danger. Your mind is like a seed. It will grow whatever the environment supports. Put a seed in rich, healthy soil with sunlight and water, and it thrives. Put it in dry, rocky soil without light, and it struggles or dies. You are the same. The conversations you hear, the beliefs you absorb, the media you watch, this is the soil your mind is planted in. If you want to grow stronger, you must plant yourself in better soil. Let's look at Sara Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She became the world's youngest self-made female billionaire. She didn't start with huge resources, experience, or connections. What she had was a protective mental environment. Her father used to ask a specific question at the dinner table. "What did you fail at today?" Think about that. What did you fail at? If she said she didn't fail at anything, he would be disappointed. But if she said she failed at something, he would celebrate her answer. He taught her that mistakes were not shameful. They were proof she was trying. Because she grew up in an environment that turned failure into growth, she wasn't afraid to chase an idea that others mocked. And that one idea built an empire. So how do you build an invisible shield for your mind? 1. Identify your energy leaks. Write down every source of negativity in your life, not just people. Write down the apps, the TV shows, and the habits that leave you feeling worse. 2. Set boundaries without guilt. This isn't about cutting everyone off. It is about controlling access. Decide how much time, if any, you will spend in negative spaces. 3. Replace poison with power. Every time you remove a negative input, replace it with a positive one. A book, a podcast, a mentor, or even 5 minutes of quiet reflection. 4. Create a clean zone. Designate a space in your life, your room, your desk, your morning routine, where no negative news, gossip, or criticism is allowed. 5. Protect your first and last hour. What you hear when you wake up sets your emotional tone for the day. What you hear before sleep programs your subconscious. Fill both with encouragement and vision. You cannot pour clean water into a dirty glass and expect it to be drinkable. Likewise, you cannot fill your life with negativity and expect to produce positive results. Protecting your mind is not about being soft or avoiding reality. It is about refusing to live in a mental prison built by other people's fears and failures. When you guard your mind like a fortress, you stop reacting to every opinion. You stop comparing yourself to everyone else. You make decisions from strength, not fear. And most importantly, you start creating your life on your own terms, because only your voice gets the final say inside your head. Thinking about the people around us is so important. I wonder, do you have someone in your life who needs to hear this? Who is on your team? If this message about protecting your mind makes you think of a friend who is struggling, you might want to share this with them. Sometimes, we grow faster when we grow together. Truth number 6 is that your mind controls your energy. Every morning, you wake up with a certain amount of energy. I don't just mean physical energy. I mean mental energy. And here is the truth. Your mind is the master switch. It decides whether you spend that energy building your future or burning it on things that don't matter. Most people say time is the most valuable thing in the world. That is not completely true. Because if you have 12 hours in a day, but no energy, those hours are wasted. Energy is what turns hours into results. And your mind is either the battery charger or the battery drainer. Every thought you think sends a signal to your body. A thought of fear tells your body to tighten up, slow down, and prepare to retreat. A thought of purpose tells your body to wake up, lean in, and move forward. That is why two people can face the exact same situation, and one feels crushed while the other feels fired up. It is not the situation. It is the signal their mind sends. Consider Nikola Tesla, one of history's greatest inventors. He was known for working long hours with intense focus. People wondered how he kept his energy so high without burning out. Tesla revealed that he used his mind to create energy before he acted physically. He would visualize his inventions in perfect detail. He saw them so clearly that in his mind, they were already built. By the time he worked on them physically, he wasn't starting from zero. He was riding on the momentum of mental creation. His thoughts fueled his actions. There are 3 main energy leaks of the mind. One is overthinking. Running the same problem in your head over and over without action drains mental fuel faster than physical work. 2 is negative self-talk. Every insult you say to yourself is like punching holes in your energy tank. 3 is pointless worry. Thinking about things you cannot control is like paying rent for a house you don't live in. Close these leaks, and you will feel an immediate energy boost. How can you use your mind to increase energy daily? Start with a winning thought. Before you even get out of bed, think of one thing you are excited about or grateful for. This sends an immediate signal to your body. We are alive, and we are moving forward. Control the first inputs. What you see and hear in the first hour sets your emotional temperature for the day. Feed your mind something uplifting, and your energy will rise. Single task for power. When your mind focuses on one thing at a time, your energy is concentrated like a laser. Multitasking scatters it like a weak flashlight. Use many recovery breaks. Every 60 to 90 minutes, stop for 2 to 3 minutes. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and reset. This prevents mental exhaustion before it happens. End with reflection. At the end of the day, review your wins. This recharges your belief, and belief is pure energy. Imagine an athlete in training and an average person. Both have 24 hours. The athlete's mind says, "I am fueling my body and sharpening my skill." The average mind says, "I am tired. Maybe I will skip today." Same body, same potential, but different mental commands. Those commands decide who rises and who remains. Think about moments when you were completely drained, and then, suddenly, you got amazing news. Maybe a friend called, or you won something. Suddenly, you were full of life again. Nothing changed physically. Your mind simply flipped the switch. That is the secret. Your body listens to your mind more than your mind listens to your body. If you train your mind to speak energy, your body will respond with power. When you master the connection between mind and energy, you stop wasting your best hours on low-value tasks. You feel alive and driven even on long days. You create momentum that builds itself. Your mind becomes your personal power plant, generating energy on demand so you can keep moving along after others have stopped. Truth number 7. Your mind decides what is possible for you. The most dangerous limits in your life are not outside of you. They are inside your head. Before your body gives up, your mind decides you can't. Before your dream fails, your mind decides it's impossible. And here is the truth. Nobody told you. What your mind accepts as possible becomes the ceiling of your life. The world doesn't decide your limit. The world offers you challenges, opportunities, and obstacles. But your mind is the filter. If your mind says, "I can," you will see a way. If your mind says, "I can't," you will see an excuse. Two people can be in the same situation, same resources, same chance. One will rise while the other will stay stuck. The difference is what they believed was possible. Your mind is like a compass. It always points you toward what you think is possible. If you think small, the compass will guide you to small goals, small risks, and small rewards. If you think big, the compass will point you to bold actions, bigger risks, and bigger rewards. It is not magic. It is alignment. You will naturally move toward whatever your mind believes you can have. Think about the Chinese bamboo tree. It is planted in the soil and watered daily. For the first 5 years, nothing happens above the soil. Not a single green shoot appears. It looks like nothing is happening. Then, in the 5th year, it shoots up over 80 feet in just 6 weeks. Did it grow 80 feet in 6 weeks? No. It was growing underground the whole time, building roots strong enough to support massive growth. If a farmer believed it was impossible after year 2, they would stop watering, and the bamboo would die underground. Your dreams are like that bamboo. Your mind decides whether you keep watering when the results are invisible. Most people are not defeated by failure. They are defeated by the time it takes to succeed. When progress is slow, their mind says, "This is impossible. Why bother?" And the moment they believe it is impossible, they stop doing the actions that would have made it possible. The result? They never know how close they were to breaking through. How do you expand what your mind believes is possible? First, challenge the ceiling. Write down your biggest goal. Then ask, what would it take to make this even bigger? Force your mind to explore beyond the comfort zone. Second, collect proof from the world. Read about breakthroughs in science, technology, and history. Every time you learn about something that was once thought impossible, your own belief in possibility grows. Third, use the what if game. Whenever your mind says, I can't, immediately ask, what if I could? What would I try first? This opens the door instead of closing it. Fourth, focus on evidence goals. Set goals based on actions you control, like hours practiced, pages written, calls made, instead of only outcomes. When you see yourself showing up daily, you start to believe more is possible. Fifth, train with incremental wins. Don't jump from zero to a giant leap. Expand in steps. Each win is proof that the next step is possible. When you change one impossible into possible, it starts a chain reaction. A breakthrough in your career makes your health goals seem possible. A breakthrough in learning a skill makes building a business feel possible. Each victory adds weight to the belief, if I can do this, I can do more. Be careful whose limits you accept. People will tell you something is impossible not because it truly is, but because they can't imagine themselves doing it. If you adopt their limits, you live their life. If you protect your possibility, you live yours. When you train your mind to believe more is possible, you stop quitting early. You start taking actions that most people never even try. You discover strengths you didn't know you had. And slowly, the impossible becomes your new normal. Because the only real difference between impossible and possible is whether your mind allows you to try. Finally, truth number 8. Your mind becomes what you feed it. Your mind is not a fixed machine. It is more like living clay. It takes the shape of whatever you press into it day after day, year after year. If you feed it weakness, it will shape itself into fear. If you feed it strength, it will shape itself into courage. If you feed it excuses, it will shape itself into limitations. If you feed it vision, it will shape itself into power. This is not philosophy. It is reality. Every piece of information you allow into your mind is a seed. Those seeds grow into your thoughts. Your thoughts grow into your beliefs. Your beliefs grow into your actions. Your actions grow into your life. So if you don't like your life, the first place to look is not outside. It is at what you have been feeding your mind. Imagine your mind as a giant garden. Every single day, something is being planted. Some seeds are planted by you, the books you read, the words you speak, the things you think about before bed. Some seeds are planted by others, conversations you hear, news you watch, comments people make around you. But here is the thing most people don't realize. You are the gardener. You decide which seeds stay and which get pulled out. If you let every weed grow, your garden will choke. If you pull the weeds and plant strong, healthy seeds every day, your garden will thrive, and so will your life. A computer doesn't decide what data it gets. It runs whatever you put into it. If you load it with viruses, it crashes. If you load it with powerful, useful software, it becomes a tool for creation. Your mind works the same way. If you feed it fear, gossip, and negativity, it will run programs that sabotage you. If you feed it learning, vision, and positivity, it will run programs that build your future. Think about your average day. You wake up and scroll through social media, comparing your life to strangers. You watch or hear the news and absorb fear, anger, and division. You spend hours with people who complain, criticize, and gossip. You go to sleep replaying your mistakes instead of your goals. This is a mental diet of junk food, and just like the body gets weak on junk food, the mind gets weak on junk thoughts. If you want to change your life, start by changing your mental diet. What you feed your mind today will shape who you are 6 months from now. If you start reading one good book every month, listening to inspiring audio instead of gossip, and focusing on solutions instead of problems, your thinking will change. When your thinking changes, your decisions change. When your decisions change, your results change. Picture your mind as a giant water tank. Every positive, empowering thought is a drop of clean water. Every negative, disempowering thought is a drop of dirty water. You can't expect a tank to stay clean if you pour dirty water into it every day. The only way to make the water clear is to keep pouring in clean water until it overflows and washes the dirt out. The same goes for your mind. You must flood it with powerful, useful, uplifting input until there is no room left for the garbage. How to feed your mind for power, step by step. First, audit your inputs. Write down every major source of information in your life: TV, social media, conversations, books. Circle the ones that empower you. Cross out the ones that weaken you. Second, create a no junk rule. For the next 30 days, remove one major negative input from your daily life. Replace it with something that builds you. Third, schedule your mental meals. Just like you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, schedule times to feed your mind. A morning reading session, a midday podcast, an evening reflection, or fourth, use the 5-minute upgrade. Whenever you have 5 minutes of idle time, consume something that makes you better, not something that wastes your energy. Fifth, protect the first and last 30 minutes of your day. Start and end your day with the mental equivalent of a healthy meal, a goal review, a gratitude list, or an inspiring message. Feeding your mind right is not instant magic. It is like training for a marathon. The results compound over time. 6 months of good mental nutrition will make you calmer under stress, sharper in decision-making, and more confident in yourself. 1 year of good mental nutrition can make you unrecognizable in the best way. If you take control of what your mind consumes, you will think more clearly. You will feel more in control. You will act with more purpose. And most importantly, you will start building a life that reflects the best of what is inside you. Because what is inside you is finally the best you have ever fed it. We have just walked through truths that have the power to rebuild your entire life from the inside out. But here is the thing. None of it matters if you only listen and then go back to your old patterns. Your mind will not change because of one video. It will change because you decide today to live differently. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to know exactly how everything will work out. You just need to take one powerful step, and then another, and keep going, even when it is hard. Because your mind is not just a part of your life. Your mind is your life, and if you control it, shape it, and protect it, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. And that is where our story concludes for today. This was a deep journey we took together. I am so curious to hear your take on it all. What were your final thoughts? Did one of these truths hit you harder than the others? Please, leave all your opinions, your theories, and your questions below. I truly love reading them and building this conversation with all of you. Until next time, keep feeding your mind the good stuff. Take care.